not able to differentiate it. That's another mantis from Tribunal family, but it's got this huge white wings, which is pretty different, pretty interesting. I've seen this not in Singapore before, but I've seen this in Malaysia and Thailand, and also in China. So when we look at different species of praying mantis, especially the praying mantis in the same family, and that's why we have to learn the different body parts of the mantis, because there will be, when it comes to some of the very similar praying mantis species, we have to look at the smaller details of the mantis. So, for example, we have 3 species of dead leaf mantis here. So when we look at the pronoton, one of the pronoton is this. Okay, that's the head. And this is called, they are from the Deropulatis genus. This is Deropulatis designa. This is Deropulatis truncata. See, it's more triangular. The other is Deropulatis lobata. So lobata would be here.
Diamond shape.
Alright, so that's how we differentiate. I think this is pretty straightforward. So that's the pronoton we have to look at. And sometimes when they were some of the species, they're so similar. Like for example, there's also a Deropulatis triangular something. So that's gonna be like this. It's similar to this, but the pronoton is slightly different. Okay, that's how when we look at it, different species of praying mantis, and also when there are 2 mantises that they're so similar, that's why we have to learn their forelegs, forearms. Right. This is the coxa, the femur, and tibia, and tarsus. So usually there will be some of the mantis that had spot in here, and some don't. Others is completely the same. Alright, so imagine. Others are the same, but only difference of this part. So that makes them different species.
That's the first foreleg. Is it the first? The forelegs.
Yeah, the forelegs on inside of their forelegs. And for example, the Hirodula. We have Hirodula venosa here in Singapore, and we also have I don't think it's other. Okay, so venosa is that they have a orange color part over here and an orange color part over here. If we take it out, well, we can try to see the large one, the largest. You see, it's orange inside their forearms. You see, and some of the mantis, they are exact the same, but without the orange color. So that's other species. Oh, you see, it's not able to climb up. That's why we probably need a leaf to put in there later. Oh, maybe not enough. Just do it later. Don't worry. So yeah, that's how we tell whether a mantis is from different species, and especially when it comes to, because in China there's a lot more mantis species, and we're trying to get a pair. It can be like we got the right male but not the right female. So they're different species but not able to breed. So that's why we have to really look at the we have to really understand the species. So I think there are 39 on iNaturalist. So there should be like 39, 40 something species out there in entire Singapore, which is a lot for a city. That is a lot. So yeah, and uh, for the urbanization group, we're not able to find all 39 species. But again, the thing is that we're trying to find them. I think we can use the data on iNaturalist as well because that's a reference. But the thing is that you may find out there's a lot of sightings in one area and there's a very few in another part. Not because there are a lot more mantis over there, it's because there might be a lot more people going there. And there are a lot more naturalists going there. That's why they take photo and they upload. That's a one sighting. If we got an entire class going there, like 25 people, they all upload. So there are 25 sightings, maybe of the one praying mantis only. So when you use that reference, you have to think about, okay, there are like 10 flower mantis here, but not because there are more than the number of mantis is more than anonymous in other places. It's because you have to think about this. Right? You have to think about the factors. There might be more people going there. Right? That's one thing. And also, because I kept saying, hey, maybe the government is using pesticide, and you have to find the reference as well, right? The news or you have to find proof that they're using pesticide. And that's why the number of mantis we encounter is very small. Okay. And also for Bindu, because we're studying the mating process, and the real problem is the real question is, will the female eat the male, right? And then you have to. There are a lot of factors as well, right? If you just test one pair, the judges may say, okay, that's just one pair. Right? You might want to test more than that. You might want to test 10 pairs. But are you able to keep like 20 mantis in a year? Probably not. So that's why you can ask for help. You can use reference as well. But the thing is that you have to think about that. You have to really state that one pair is not enough. So you're trying your best to do 2 pairs, 3 pairs, and you're asking other mantis hobbyists to see their experience with the breeding process. So there's Mantis Group in Singapore, and you can always go on there and ask for their help. So that's also one thing. And when it comes to whether the male will be much female, or it depends on other factors as well. The size of the male. If the male is so big, so powerful, maybe the female is not able to grab the male, or the Leptomentella one has got
Move a little bit.
has got this so short tibia, so its tibia is very very short. It's definitely not able to grab the male. So that's one thing. That's one factor. Okay, the female forearm is designed to catch flies only or mosquitoes only. It's not designed to catch bigger prey. And when you introduce the prey to the praying mantis, you will see the size difference. If we, for example, we're trying to introduce the grasshopper that is like half the size, see the mantis will eat, or the 1/3 of the size, or 1/4 of the size, or even smaller. See the mantis will eat the prey or not. If the mantis is able to catch the prey that is so big, that means the mantis is absolutely a very aggressive praying mantis. Right? So the chance is definitely higher. And then it's the environmental thing, whether it is kept in a captive cage or whether it is in the wild. Because after you observe, the male will just fly away right after mating, right after the disconnection. The male will just fly away. So yeah, so that can the male can be eaten by the female after that, right? Because the male just go away. The female's not able to capture the male. So you want to state whether that thing is happening before the mating or after the mating. What's gonna what's the situation after the mating is because maybe the male is inside the enclosure, is not able to get rid of the female. Yeah, those are things you need to look at. You need to consider. So yeah. Okay.
Will she need to do time-lapse video recording of if she has a pair?
Yeah.
Will she need to do time-lapse video
It
recording
will be better to take a time lapse, but not maybe
When
not
they-
for okay. So when I'll teach you how to introduce the male to the female to the male, not the male to the female. Otherwise, it's gonna be the pain. You'll see how the male is approaching the female, whether it's approaching carefully or whether there can be an accident happening before the male gets the female, or what's gonna happen after like things happening before the mating process. What's gonna happen to the male and all kind of things. Yeah, it would be best. It would be best if we can record everything, but it's that you have to go through the process. You can just take photo only. Then if you do not have a camera or a tripod or something. But the thing is
borrow
that
from BioLab?
yeah,
Borrow from the BioLab. We have a camera.
My lab and kind of, yeah, you just the thing is that again is the process that matters. You have to make sure you test different pairs. So that's why we're trying to get more. And you need to keep going in a while to really study the behavior of the praying mantis. The reason why we think, or a lot of scientists think, it's not true for the female to eat the male because okay, female is so aggressive. It eats everything that come across to her. So it's not a must process of the male. Right? It's not a must. It's just the female just don't care at all. Just eat anything that she can encounter. But you cannot come up with the conclusion because of what I told you. You have to come up with what you observe. Right?
Yes.
Now, you've been keeping several mantises. You've been asking, and okay, that's why the female is so aggressive.
No worries.
No problem. Yeah, I think we're done.
Oh, one box got ready.
Rest, periodic rest does help. This is the last stretch.
And also depends on whether the space is big enough. Yeah, if the space is very small, they will
Yes.
see each other frequently,
Yes.
and every time they see each other, they will attack.
Mm.
Most time no, but sometimes they do.
Mm.
But I think most time they just either escape because they're frightened, or they just don't care. They just want to mate. They got eaten before mating because they're just engaging.
Oh, less than a kilometer.
Because when they
Yeah,
engage,
directly her told me
the
3
female
kilometers.
doesn't know.
Give me a fright.
It's a
915. Okay,
female
let's
just-
go.
Just feel like there's something on its back.
Yes,
So
only
either it's
915.
gonna turn around and grab the male
Huh?
and thing. So
And
that's
then
one thing.
915.
So usually after 2 or 3 weeks, after its final molt, so it became adult, and then the female will start calling. If the male approaches the female before the female starts to call, before the female gets mature enough, the female will be very aggressive. And if the female is pretty old, like mature enough, sometimes the female will allow the male to just mate. You keep like 10 Leptomentella in one cage, nothing's gonna happen. They will not attack each other because they do not eat each other. They're not able to eat things that big. And also for the leaf-making mantis I mentioned, because they're so white, they're pretty white. The female is not able to grab the male if the male is on his back, because the female is not able to turn around. Yeah.
So that one they will not fight. The male and female
They will fight, It's just once the male is on the female is not able to grab
Attack
the
the
male
male,
from its
right?
back. The female
And
will still attack
the female will
male.
just allow the male to fertilize itself.
So yeah, so this is what happens. So sometimes when the male jump onto the back of the female, it will use its antenna to tap the female. Yeah, to let it calm, and then it will start to make the connection. So it will go usually just go to the right side because the genital of the male is not it's asymmetrical. So it's always gonna go from the right and he's trying to find the female organ, so the female organ and trying to connect. And he's trying to open it. It will use some of the hook to open the organ and put it in. And the mating can be like 4 hours, sometimes like 20 hours.
Wow.
Yeah, the longest I had it was like 40 hours.
Wow.
So yeah, I think for the Hirodula it will be 3-4 hours. It should be 3-4 hours. And after mating, the male just fly away, and the female will have this. It's actually a sperm bag with the sperm inside. So the female will absorb the sperm, yeah, and put the sperm back out, and you also put sperm back.
So the one that we saw on the tree is a sperm bag.
No.
No.
No, we never see it in a while because it's so small. It's very small, yeah. So that's the egg case.
Egg case.
It's called Utica. So that's the yeah. So that's what female deliver as like some sort of substance to protect the egg inside. If you cut a section, you see like a lot of eggs in there in one row, and there'll be like 10 rows.
And each of each egg will become a nymph.
Yes. So usually for the Hirodula, it would be like 180 to 100, sometimes even larger number.
So we have one box mantis egg case.
Yeah. So for that boxer mantis, that egg case was going to be like 30 to 40
eggs, babies.
Boxers. Yeah, boxers.
How soon before they come out?
Usually it's 20 to 40 days after the egg is laid.
Right. That's pretty long.
Yeah. Sometimes it takes like almost 6 months, like half a year. For some it's cheap.
All right.
Because in China it's winter, right?
The week.
And if it's in tropical, usually it's 40 days. 20, 40 days. Sometimes 60 days. Usually it's 40 days.
Okay, so you all get ready to help look after some boxer mantis when it comes out.
Yeah, because they're communicating. They will use their forums to communicate.
Can she use it for her hair knitting?
Definitely.
Boxer mantis. When they become adults.
But won't the age time be different? Like the male matures faster.
Yeah, the male always mature like within 10 days. So after 10 days it's ready to mate. For females it's 20 days. So that's why the male will always be mature earlier, so that the male will go other places instead of staying in one place. And also the males have this stronger flying ability. So that's to prevent inbreeding.
All right. Any more questions with regards to your project?
Question I will check on INRGS to see if there should be a bark mantis here. There's like when I was in Costa Rica, I just kind of asked.
See, we can ask. We can ask.
I've seen this before. Sometimes they do.
We can ask these people.
Yeah,
People that
I'll
stays here.
try to go ask later.